एक औरत ही औरत की दुश्मन होती है. अ वुमन इज अ वुमन्स वर्स्ट एनिमी. ये वाला लाइन हम बहुत बार सुन चुके हैं. वी हैव हर्ड दिस sentence so many times, especially when we start talking about feminism, women issues. We often hear this because हम देखते भी हैं कि one feminist dismisses another feminist, one strong woman will be dismissing the viewpoints of another strong woman, two women fighting, the sas is oppressing the bahu, whether the sas is also a woman but she is beating the bahu, oppressing the bahu. Dowry death में जो death होती है इतने सारे, a lot of the mother-in-laws are responsible. So there is a common saying that we hear कि औरत ही औरत की दुश्मन होती है. इस सेइंग के पीछे कितनी सच्चाई है? क्या वाकई में औरत औरत की दुश्मन होती है और something else is going on? Are women inherently competitive in nature and inherently they are psychologically driven to be jealous and competitive of other women, or something else is at play over here? Let's discuss that today. Welcome to Women and Gender News. On this channel, I bring you women-related news and feminist perspectives. I also talk about, in general, women's representation in various fields like cinema, art, music videos, television. So I would really request that you watch this. It's not going to be so too long, but don't leave it in just 30-40 seconds. एक तरह से it can be agreed that women can be competitive and jealous of each other. They pull each other down. But we have to understand of two things. Two categories we are discussing here. One is women and one is psychology. So women as a category, let's try to understand what it is and what is psychology or woman's psychology. Both are fluid characters. Psychology is not a pure science which is bereft of the social conditioning. For that matter, nothing is a pure science. Everything is conditioned by the societal traditions and customs, and everything gets colored. There is no such thing as pure science. So psychology is also not a pure science. That's number one. Number two is that the category of woman is also a very fluid category. Simone de Beauvoir said that we are not born as women. We become one. We are just born with a sexual organ, which is the vagina, but what we become as women is a process. It's a conditioning. It's a social teaching. It's what society tells us to be. We are constantly trying to live up to certain kind of expectations. Judith Butler similarly said that gender is a performance. That we are not born as women, and our sex or gender is what we perform to be as per the expectations of the society. That we are constantly doing this performance because we have been taught to do this performance. So here is the catch. What is that mother-in-law who is oppressing the woman? She is doing a performance of what the society wants a mother-in-law to be or perform. She is, according to the social standards and expectations, she is performing. So psychology is influenced by several factors: social, political, economical factors, and a person born with female genitals is also performing to be a woman the way society wants her to be. And what is this social conditioning? This social conditioning starts from the day we were born as female, as with female genitals. क्या है? The woman is being told that this household, this home is your kingdom. You have to rule this house and get to the throne. You have to, in your youth, you have to find a man. You have to keep a man, marry a man, then you have to give birth to a son, then you have to keep holding on to that son. The woman has been made dependent on a man, on keeping a man in her good books for her entire life's subsistence. Like in the childhood, she is dependent on the father. Then when she is young, she has to find a man, be appealing enough that a man will marry her. और अगर आज के ज़माने में, अगर पुराने ज़माने में देखें तो arranged marriage, अगर मैं love marriage की भी बात करूँ तो you have to appeal to a man. You have to look pretty. You have to follow social standards of beauty, and then you have to find that man and keep holding on to that man. I mean, हो सकता है that man will go after some other woman. So you have to keep that man. Why? Because without without a man, the society is telling you that you have no worth. That without a marriage, you have no worth. That the society is telling you. Marriage has been made the entire end all and be all of a woman's life. Then after marriage, she is told that now you have to be a mother, a good mother. Preferably you have to give birth to a son. Now she is again competing within the household to be a good wife, good mother, and she's been given such a small space to show herself, to explore in her every potential. And on the other hand, the men are told that the whole world is at your feet. Go out in the world, पूरी दुनिया की सैर करो, पूरे दुनिया को conquer करो. Go out and conquer the world, fight battles, take up new initiatives, do some do political work, do volunteering work, do economic work, do great wonders. Men are running the world. Men are given the whole world as a stage, and women are given only the domestic life, the home, as her space. And in this space, the resources is limited, the space is limited. So automatically the psychology starts to build up defense systems, starts to build up survival mechanism, and starts to get jealous and insecure about other women. And this is a psychology that is happening for millions of years. Millions, thousands and thousands and thousands and 10,000 years at least. From the dawn of civilization, when we started controlling women and their sexual reproductive potential, created the concept of marriage and family, and controlled women's movement. Women were told that they would be moving to the husband's home and they will be living there, and they will be begetting the husband's son and children, and the children will get the husband's name. The property will go through the lineage, and the property will all run through the bloodline will all run through the husband. So when she has been for thousands of years going through this is becoming the psychology of the woman. On the other hand, men are given the whole world as a stage. On top of that, culturally, we are all the time celebrating brotherhood, yari dosti. Movies like Sholay have two male friends. How many friends, how many movies have we created on female friendship? How many stories are written on band of girls? Band of brothers बने हैं, band of girls कहाँ बने हैं? हम आर्मी पे मूवीज बनाते हैं तो क्या दिखाते हैं कि हमारे जवान जो है कंधे से कंधा मिला के लड़ते हैं. वहाँ हम सॉलिडारिटी दिखाते हैं, फ्रेंडशिप दिखाते हैं, भाईचारा दिखाते हैं, पर वो सारे के सारे मेल ड्रिवन है. How often do we create sisterhood and solidarity among women? A cultural fact, a traditional fact, a social fact. It's not often. How can we change this? How, on a day-to-day level, day-to-day basis, how can we change the way women think, the women's psychology? By raising our girls differently, our young girls differently. Here are some of my top tips. We need to teach our boys and girls equally, which means give the girls something bigger calling than just marriage and motherhood. From early childhood, keep telling them that motherhood and marriage is not the end of everything, that even if she doesn't want to get married, or if something doesn't work out great in that department, there is always something great to look forward to in life. Tell young girls that motherhood is just a biological fact. It does not define us. It does not define our purpose on earth or our relevance on earth. You have sex, you get pregnant, and that's motherhood. And all the frills and glory attached to it is just that, just social conditioning. Financial empowerment is very important. Everybody talks about financial empowerment, but it has to be coupled with breaking that myth of that motherhood and marriage is important. So encourage our girls to be financially independent, allow them to choose whatever profession they want to pursue, and liberate them from the bondage of motherhood and marriage, and let them earn and be financially independent and support in all their endeavors. And lastly, inform young girls about the history of gender-based oppression, women's movement against it, and the achievements. This women movement, by the way, is called feminism. And although I mention it in the end, this should begin at the earliest stage of a child's intellectual growth. Women and gender studies should become a part of school syllabus from 6th standard onwards. Just like we are taught about world and human history, how we progressed from kings and czars to democracy, how from being colonies we gained independence. Similarly, children at school must be told about how from being unequal and oppressed, women gained equality, voting rights, education rights, and what are the present challenges.